do a quick demo on the pond of our beloved Old Town Castaway. This is a fairly old kayak, touring kayak, technically. Although I would say it's a little bit in between a wreck kayak and a touring kayak, and I'll tell you why. It's 12 feet 9 inches long, so it's just under 13 feet. So it's not one of my longer touring kayaks, but even under 13 feet, it actually, to me, feels just as fast, just as good tracking as our 14-foot wilderness system tsunamis. So this kayak will keep up with a lot of other touring kayaks. It's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's just very fast, tracks really well, even for, like I said, under 13 foot. So Old Town Castaway, the reason I love it, they don't make it. This is an old ancient model that Old Town made probably 20 something years ago. I don't even know what year I bought this used, several years ago. I want to say it's probably a late 90s, early 2000s model. And I love the boats from that time period. We have an Old Town loom from that same time period, which is actually what I did my first boat review video on. So go check that one out. But something about those old boats, they're Polylink 3, they're built like a tank, they're super durable. They can just take a beating. They say they're indestructible. So I love this kayak. So I wanted to just do a quick demo of it and just show you what I like about it, what I would change about it. So let's see how it does on the water. And I will try to remember to put up some of the specs. I know the length, I don't know the weight, but I'm guessing it's definitely at least 50. It feels a good solid 50 pounds to me, maybe a little more. I'll have to double check on that. And I'll have to double check the weight capacity on this as well. So let's take a look at this on the water, and then I'll tell you a little more about it. It's hard to give a good demo of a touring boat on a small pond, but it takes a little while to get up some speed being a little bit on the heavier side. It definitely, you can tell it takes a little bit longer, a little more power to get it going. But once you do get it going, it's got a pretty good cruising speed. And as you can tell, it turns about as good or bad as a touring boat. You know, most touring kayaks, you know, when you get 12 feet or longer, they're going to be slow to turn. So it's a little slow to turn. That's no real surprise. And, you know, it's got okay stability. Again, with the touring kayaks, sea kayaks, you're definitely not going to feel nearly as stable as some of the wreck kayaks. It's not as wide, and it's just, you know, it's one of those, you don't, if you go too far, it's probably going to dump you. So you have to be careful not to get over too far. The only time it dumped me out, we were actually trying to get in at Lake Kiowee. They have a canoe kayak only access at Kiowee State Park, and I was in knee deep water and trying to get in from the side, and a boat had gone by, and there was wake and waves coming in from the side, and it just, I went over. It was funny. My husband laughed. Luckily, he's the only one that saw it. So you just got to be more careful with this kayak, like any touring kayak, that you're not getting leaned over too far. So, you know, I've got the footrest where I want them. I've got my knees tucked in. It's a nice, snug fit. So you can see it fits me pretty good. I'm 5'7" and pounds. So it's a snug little fit. Probably just being an older touring kayak, it's going to have the smaller cockpit. You can see how much smaller this cockpit is, especially compared to a recreational kayak. Some touring kayaks might have a slightly higher front deck, so you might feel like you have more space. This one's on the lowish side, so it would take a little bit of getting used to, but you know, you turn your legs to the side anyway, it fits in there fine. So we'll look at a couple more features, and I might do a side view to show you how it looks from the side. I think it's a beautiful kayak personally. I just think it has great lines. It looks really pretty on the water. It's got a hard plastic molded seat, which is very common again for this period of an Old Town kayak. Same as in our Old Town loon, again from the late 90s, early 2000s, they did these hard plastic molded seats. It's actually a very comfortable seat. The design and the contours of this hard plastic seat actually makes it pretty comfortable. And then it's got the adjustable footrest. So the only things that I would mention to keep in mind if you find yourself coming across one of these models is that it doesn't have you know, front or rear bulkheads, which most touring kayaks do have. You know, they'll have a rear and a front hatch with an actual foam or plastic divide that more or less, you know, makes it a waterproof storage area in the bow and the stern. If you were to capsize in deep water away from the shore, that's going to make your capsized kayak float a lot better and have a lot less water to pump out. So if you were going to take this on deep water or far from the shore, you're going to want to put some type of flotation in the bow and the stern and do the float bags, the air bags that they design and make to go into the bow and the stern. And that will definitely increase your safety and your flotation if you were to capsize. If you're going to be keeping this close to the shore, doing small lakes and ponds, lazy rivers, you should be fine. We've never had a problem with it, but we're not doing sea kayaking, you know, we're not doing offshore kayaking or, you know, crossing huge open waters in it. So So that's the only downside. And they say I think the almost exact same model and hull is called a Castine. And the Old Town Castine does have the hatches and the bulkheads. So that's almost kind of an upgrade in that model. So this one did not have it, probably made it a little cheaper, more entry friendly. So that's my Old Town Castaway, and I love it. It's a neat used boat to have. I kind of feel like it's this, legend classic of a boat that you really don't see very much of. But we've had a lot of fun in it, and the only modification we really did, I think we added new bungees when we got it to the deck, and then I had our local outfitter, I had them add a flush mount rod holder, as you can see, goes down right here where I could put the fishing rod. So our local outfitter, they put that in for me years ago, and I was actually fishing out of this quite a bit back in the day. So that's the only thing that I added to it. And you can put since it's pretty much open front and back, I just put my tackle box right here, sort of between my feet. There was plenty of room for that. So that is the Old Town Castaway. So here's a closer look at the Old Town Castaway. 12 feet 9 inches. And like I had said earlier, I got to replace the carry handle at the front. Bungees on the front deck. Here's where a paddle holder bungee should be. I need to replace that too, where that bungee line would be, and then you snap it over your paddle rod right there to hold it in place. So I need to replace that as well. And rear deck bungees that we put on there, carry handle back there, and here's the flush mount rod holder that I had them put in that has a stopper in it that I can't get out right now. But anyway, that stopper comes out, and then your fishing rod handle goes down into there, and you can see where it protrudes down. And here is the hard plastic molded seat I was talking about. That's actually pretty comfortable, and you can somewhat adjust the back. I mean, the back only goes back to there, but you can actually use this to cinch it up a little bit higher if you want to sit up taller. And there's your adjustable footrest. You just grab it and squeeze the back, and then they slide up and down. There's your rear. So a lot of storage space. And as you can see, like these older Old Town models, it's made out of the Polylink 3. So it's super, super durable. Made in the USA. It's been a nice little boat. Okay, let's take a look at that hull. As you can see, it's a fairly flat hull with that keel, pronounced keel in the stern, and then the keel coming up front with a pretty aggressive nose. So that's your hull. Fairly flat with the keel running all the way down. And as you can see, it's got some river rash, as they would say. She's got some scratches. She's been well loved, but nothing serious. It's like I said, it's almost impossible to really put a dent in these old Polylink 3 Old Town canoes and kayaks. So one other thing I wanted to say, obviously this kayak would be great for flat water paddling, medium to small lakes, large lakes, if you can stay close to the shoreline, or you outfit it and put flotation bags in the bow and stern if you are going to be crossing open bodies of water. But I wanted to mention, we did take this down Saluda River last summer, the Saluda River Rally. It's a great event, and we knew we were going to be on a different part of the Saluda than what we'd normally done. It was doing a lower section from Dolly Cooper Park in Anderson all the way down to Piedmont Dam in Piedmont, South Carolina. And we really thought it was just going to be more lazy river, which for the most part it was, and this was great for that. There were a few rapids. There was a couple of class 2 plus rapids early on. I even took this down what was somewhat of a rock slide, like a 20-foot rock slide that we weren't really expecting, but hey, what are you going to do? So I ran it, and I got turned a little, but I was able to brace and keep from turning over when I got sideways. So I actually took this through a few rapids. I wouldn't recommend more than class 1, class 2 at the most. But even a lazy river or a coastal river, slow-moving rivers, this would be great for that as well. So I just wanted to mention that. So that is my Old Town Castaway. I hope you've liked this video and this review. Leave a comment. Let me know if any of y'all have come across one or ever paddled in one. I feel like they're sort of rare. It's kind of a rarity to see one of these, which is sort of why I like it. One of the reasons I like it so much. So leave a comment and let me know if you have another Old Town kayak relic from late 90s, early 2000s. Let me know what model you have. Leave a picture if you can. And if you like this video, give me the thumbs up and hit subscribe and help support my channel. Happy paddling.